Frances Reynolds comes to the 8 o'clock service. She just got back from L.A. So I asked her this morning, are angels really busy out in L.A.? Or not L.A., Las Vegas. She said, oh yeah, they're working overtime in Las Vegas. But Las Vegas isn't heaven. It's very different from heaven. There's a saying about Las Vegas. You know what it is? What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. Yeah. Well, the same isn't true of heaven, because what happens in heaven is really different. This is where we're going to get really woo-woo here in the homily. We're on linear time, right? We have a beginning, we have a middle, we have an end. And there's points along that line, and let's say I go to Las Vegas, get into a little adultery there. Well, I want to leave that there. Yeah. So I get out of Las Vegas and it stays there. Nobody knows. Except him. Nobody knows. But when something happens in heaven, that time is shaped like a circle. And it has the beginning, the middle, and the end, and up and down, and in between, all at the same time. Something happens in heaven, it happens everywhere. Everybody knows about it. And the reason I'm bringing that up is the revelation of John. John has this vision. War breaks out in heaven. And the accuser is thrown down. The accuser is thrown down. Well, don't you feel relieved? Well, no. Where does the accuser go? Yeah, accuser's come down here, out of heaven, and is among us. So what are we going to do about the accuser? You remember the story of the woman caught in adultery? A bunch of these wonderful guys, kind of like the Taliban, they drag her out to Jesus. Hey, caught her in adultery. Law of Moses said, stone her. What do you say? You know what he did? He did this. He doodled in the sand, let that anger rise till that bile of their anger stuck in their throats. And he just looked up and said, all right, whichever one of you haven't sinned, go ahead, toss the first stone. They didn't throw them, they dropped them. They all slunk away. And then he looks at that poor woman who was probably scared half-witless and said, where's your accusers? Sir, I have none. Neither do I accuse you. Go on, sin no more. The accuser is thrown down. The accuser may be right here among us, but the accuser has been defeated. Now, where's the greatest accuser of all? Yeah, Jamie's got it. Right here. And that's the worst one that I have too. Maybe you do too. Oh, if I do something wrong, if I did commit adultery, I wouldn't live. I couldn't keep it quiet. I'd go nuts. It'd drive me crazy. When I sin, there's that tendency. I want to just beat myself up. That's not great. The accuser is thrown down, and God has handed you and me a wonderful tool. And it's in our Christian tradition, more on the Catholic end. Protestants don't talk about it so much, but we Anglo-Catholics can. And that tool is conscience. Don't hear about conscience much these days. Conscience. Conscience as an observer that watches. Instead of saying, oh, well, let's beat oneself up for that sin, says, how did it happen? Have you done it before? How did you get into it this time? And here's the most important one. What can you learn from it? How can you grow from it? So you won't fall into its trap again. Is there an accuser for this little guy? You know, I told the 8 o'clock service, you got to come back for this baptism. This boy, you could be within 10 feet of this boy, little Harrison here, not even see him, and you can't help but smile. Ah, look at that. If you could see what I see. That innocence. Yeah, see? That innocence. That's who God holds precious. That's you. That's me. God looks up and says, where are your accusers? Put the accuser away. Oh, God will say, neither do I accuse you. Go, grow, sin no more.